My name is Jordi. I'm one of the founders of the company Circularise. So my current role is mostly focused on the operational side of the business as well as the strategic side of the business. So what are we going to do next 6 months, next couple of years? That's my scope.
I'm Arzu Hasanova and I'm a legal counsel at Circularise. I joined the team almost 3 years ago and was, respectively small team at the time when I joined it. Now we are at 50 people and we raised a Series A since then, and we are now preparing for our Series B. And I'm overlooking everything legal related.
And yeah, we basically started Circularise because we saw a big problem that a lot of materials and products are not being used properly from a sustainability standpoint, but also from an economic standpoint. And we saw that a lot of that is happening because there's a lack of having the right data at the right time. So you can imagine that if you take a flat screen television, for instance, at some point that will be recycled, and that recycler needs to make certain choices. But if you don't have the right information, you're just going to make the average best guess, which is never perfect. It means you're going to lose a lot of the material, a lot of it is just waste at that point, right? You can't reuse it. So we set out to do better information sharing in supply chains, and still doing that ever since.
First one would be probably visibility, because we had the previous contract management tool where we had only a few seats across the team, and no one else would have the access, right? So we signed the contract, no one knows if it's signed, when it's signed, what are the terms. And if they want to see the contract, I have to download and then provide them on by email or Slack or other channels.
So we had a different solution before, and that was really just a repository. You could see all your contracts. You could send contracts out for signature there and receive them, of course, and chase people if they didn't respond at the right time. But that was it. Yeah, so I think the having transparent pricing, understanding, when should we pay what and how does that scale? Because we were also scaling, so of course we understand we can't keep the same license, the same service all the time. So that was very clear for us, and the other part was really the approval flow, which the other tool didn't have. That was a deal breaker for me.
We were looking for some functionalities like redlining, for example, collaborative working on the document with other team members, but it was really not something that everyone was providing, because I don't know really why, because I feel like it's such a key step at the contract management, at the life cycle of the contract, but not that many solutions have it. Right. Also, our previous contract management tool, also, I think that it was in their roadmap, but unfortunately not at the time when we really needed that. And other solutions were too expensive. I think that the visibility of the team to the contracts, because we have probably 25 seats at SpotDraft, and I think that we are running out, really. Because I think it's a good thing if the other teams also can see or have this visibility into the key contract terms, and the metadata management at SpotDraft is really amazing. We have been talking also to the customer success team from the SpotDraft to identify those key terms that I would like my team to see without requiring me to provide that information separately.
Yeah, so normally I get approached by things to sign either through email from like external companies, from my own employees are like, hey, so please sign this PDF, or even through Slack, or sometimes even like WhatsApp. I would be like, hey, can you look at this? This allowed me to basically push back and say, it goes through SpotDraft, and then we have the flows there where it first goes through the legal department, unless it's like our pre-approved template, of course, then you can skip part of that. And only then does it come to me, the part of the approval process, and the fact that I can just see like how that process came to be I think that's the best part, because sometimes there is a negotiation that I'm not involved in personally, and then it gets to this part where I need to make a decision. Like, do I agree with something, or should we push harder on something? And then also for me to just be able to scroll through the history and see how that negotiation came to be, it allows me to make a better informed decision.
I think it's BizDev team because something like our standard templates, right? I don't really need to be involved because they can create the contracts themselves. I don't need to be involved in that. I just approve as a last instance. But other than that, they do the whole work by themselves. So they don't have to wait for me to create the draft and then send it to them. And then they send to the customer, right? So it's done just in literally a few clicks now, because we have the questionnaire with the preset fields that needs to be filled. They do it themselves and they send it out. Another thing that I think is really important, that we also give some freedom for the customer or the vendor to fill in their information. That was also in part that we had to gather all the information to fill in the signature blocks, for example. It's such a small thing, but it takes a lot of time because you have to do that correspondence. But when you send it out and they can fill in their information, that is way easier, right? If you did a mistake, they can correct it. You don't have to start everything from the scratch, which was also an issue, even though it's kind of an easy fix, right? To just be able to edit, but we didn't have that. But now, once the contract is sent and if there's any issues on the information for the counterparty, they can just edit it without any issues. So really, I'm involved only at one step, which is approved to send. And then the last step is one of the founders signing. So for the BizDev team, it's way, way easier to get the first steps of negotiation start going. And yeah, I joined way later when the negotiation gets serious and we have to actually negotiate the contract.
Yeah, a couple hours at least per contract, where I'm just like, maybe sending the message is not that much work, but then you have to wait for the answer. And we have quite a distributed team globally. So people work in different time zones. So this also takes care of that.
I think now I'm a bit more able to focus on high value work because creating the contract using the template is not really, it's not demanding, but it's time consuming. But now I can really focus on things that require actually my expertise and not just using something, right? So I'm able to focus on the actual negotiations of the contract or the compliance matters for the company. So I think it's better use of my time, not for this monotonous work, but something that really require my knowledge, my expertise.
Yeah, that part has been crazy. Like I had some problems, and then no matter the time, there would always be someone just responding directly into our Slack, which was also very nice. Like there's no separate like chat tool or emails because I don't like that. Just the Slack is nice. Customers has been great, and it even allowed me, even so I wasn't involved in the setup of this software at all, and I had not even completed the onboarding. But then in the middle of the night, I needed to have a customized template, which before the customer success team from SpotDraft actually made for us. I was like, I don't even know how to do that. And this guy taught me in like 15 minutes in the middle of the night. And then I could make my own custom contracts. So that was nice.
I have nothing but good things to say about customer support because it's absolutely something amazing. I haven't seen any other tools that has such a strong support. I've been working with Adityan, your colleague, who has been amazing. He's trying to think along, right? I can share what are my goals or what is my vision, and he will try to think along that and how I can actually get there, which is so important because I can get overwhelmed, how to get there, what functionalities to use, how to optimize the work. But I think that the customer success team has a good insight, also probably because they work with other customers, they can actually advise something very valuable that I can use. The feature that I'm excited for, but I haven't made use of it yet, is the Verify, I think. The feature called Verify. And that is also my goal for the next half a year, maybe. I want to really deploy the AI features on SpotDraft to try to automate also the contract review. So now I'm still doing the contract review when the third-party contract, for example, comes in. But with probably automation with AI, I can run the first review through the AI and then, take a better look at the contract. But it will be like a first assistance kind of, which I think that will save me time.